I am ready to start weaving. I've got a piece of yarn about 8 inches long. This is my weft thread, and I'm gonna start weaving it through the warp threads on my loom. So I'm gonna start at the bottom here next to the bottom popsicle stick, and this piece of thread is going to go under the first warp thread. I know this because it's gonna be the opposite of how the popsicle stick is. The popsicle stick went over the first warp thread. So this one's gonna go under. So I'm going to stick it under the first warp thread and then go over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. So now I'm going to make sure the two ends on either side are about the same length, and I'm gonna scooch this piece of yarn down so it touches the popsicle stick. There's my first weft thread. Here's my next one. It's going to go over the first warp thread because my last weft thread went under. Then I'm gonna go over, under, over, under, over, under, till I get to the end. I'm making sure I don't skip any warp threads as I'm weaving. Then I'll make sure both ends are about the same length and then scooch this down to touch the other one. Here's my third weft thread. This one's going to go under the first warp thread since the one before it went over. Weave it through, making sure not to skip any. Make sure the ends are equal length, scooch it down. All right, here's my next weft thread. This one's gonna go over the first warp thread because the last one went under. Are you noticing a pattern here? Once you get the pattern, weaving is going to get much, much easier. This weft thread is going to go under the first warp thread because the one before it went over. Under, over, under, over. Make sure the ends are equal length and scooch it down. This is the last one I'm going to do in the video. But you are going to weave weft threads all the way up the loom to this popsicle stick on the top. And that's where you will stop, below that popsicle stick. Have fun, take your time, and know that you are creating something awesome.